Viewers, very good evening. We're 6 months away from one of the most consequential elections in India's history. Make no mistake, the outcome of this election will decide the course of Bharat. This is because the contest is essentially a clash of narratives. Prime Minister Modi envisions the rise of an Indic India steeped in its Hindu ethos. The Prime Minister believes that 1,000 years of settler colonization has created a class of Indians brainwashed into believing that its own culture was inferior. The BJP believes that it is essential to shed this colonial baggage. BJP hopes it will secure a fresh mandate in 2024 to continue its efforts to restore the glory of Bharat's dharmic traditions. The NDA will point out, and it has done so on quite a number of occasions, that a lot of work towards that end is already being done. The more visible among these initiatives, it says, is the placing of the ancient Sengol in the new parliament, the creation of religious corridors, the consecration of the Ram Mandir scheduled for next year, and the introduction of Hindu texts in school syllabi. The opposition India bloc thinks that the pivot towards a Hindu ethos is dangerous. Rahul Gandhi says that the BJP's divisive politics has destroyed communal harmony. In an essay for a leading newspaper, he writes that Hinduism is not a vehicle, according to him, for spreading hate, and that it can't be reduced to a set of cultural norms because doing so would be to bind it to geography. He said, and let me just quote him straight out of that article, to call Hinduism a set of cultural norms is to misunderstand it. To bind it to geography is to limit it. Hinduism is how we understand our relationship with our fear, unquote. Elsewhere, you may know this, viewers, Rahul has also tried to distinguish the Hindu faith from Hindutva. The Supreme Court, of course, has shot down any such distinction, but he continues to insist that the two are different. He's also kept silent when his own allies have slammed Sanatana Dharma, seeking its eradication. Some India bloc parties think that Sanatana Dharma is revealed Vedic dogma, reeking of an oppressive caste-centered Brahminism. They have called for its dismantling, the DMK being one of those parties. The BJP has slammed Rahul Gandhi and the India bloc for misleading the public. The party says that Rahul Gandhi's attempt at divorcing Sanatana Dharma from its Indic roots is an attempt at distortion. The party has also pointed to facts that suggest that Hindu tradition never advocated a doctrinal, permanent social hierarchy. Indeed, viewers, I have been investigating the facts, researching this particular story. The facts that Rahul is presented in his article. And what I have come up with shows that Rahul Gandhi and some of the Congress party allies may not have been quite right. They may not have got it absolutely spot on. And I think that bears to be revealed. Hindu Dharma is a universal philosophy that doesn't discriminate, and nor does it promote an us versus them worldview. There is no concept of the kafir in the Hindu tradition. While taking on casteism is necessary, and we must all do so, it is an evil. Remember, caste is an evil. But to use the evil of caste to demonize Sanatana Dharma reeks of prejudice and mendacity. Hindu Dharma is rooted to Indian civilization and is not inherently intolerant, iniquitous. Now, here are some hard facts that I have been able to pull out for you, viewers. And remember why I present these hard facts to you. I present them so that you get closer to the truth, that you have greater information, so that you can make an unapologetic, qualified judgment of your own on what people are saying and on the leading issues of this country. So here are some of the hard facts that have been ignored by the Congress and the India bloc. Let me take you through them. They're on your screens. Remember, viewers, the Annie Besant, a big friend of the Congress, back in the day, freedom fighter. Sanatana Dharma, she says, was so perfect, so scientific, so philosophical, so spiritual. She said there can be no India without Hinduism. Rahul Gandhi, remember, told us, viewers, that you can't reduce Hinduism to a geographical limit. Here is Annie Besant saying that there can be no India without Hinduism. Viewers, birth-based division or codified hierarchy was not accepted in ancient times in the Hindu tradition. Sankara Digvijaya by Madhavacharya makes knowledge, not caste, the basis for social organization. And he was quoting the Vedas. Vana Parva of Mahabharata states, quote, "A man is not a Shudra by being born a Shudra and nor a Brahmin by being born a Brahmin," unquote. Evil of birth-based casteism is a distortion of the Varna system. Absolutely, viewers, a distortion of the Varna system which was not built on a tradition of hierarchy. Several reform movements within the Hindu fold worked to eradicate hierarchical casteism. Veer Savarkar of the Hindu Mahasabha was an ardent critic of hierarchical casteism and fought it. Hindutva is his pronouncement. So how can Hindutva, viewers, be discriminatory when Mr. Savarkar himself wanted to eradicate hierarchical casteism? Gandhiji himself, and today is of course Gandhi Jayanti, called himself a proud Sanatani Hindu. He called caste a monster, a distortion. He made a distinction. And therefore, viewers, tonight I am putting the facts out there so you know that a political project has been launched to discredit Sanatana Dharma and those who have espoused the concept of it. Now, viewers, before we go on to some of our guests this evening, I want to talk one-on-one to Mr. S. Gurumurthy. He's the Indic Ideologue, very well known, editor of the Tamil magazine Tughlak. He will join us in just a few moments and in his own words prove how Sanatana Dharma, viewers, Sanatana Dharma is the eternal truth and how the India bloc is misleading the public. This is all according to him. Let's go straight across to Mr. Gurumurthy. Viewers, let's go straight across to Mr. S. Gurumurthy. He needs no introduction. He has been, of course, at the forefront of trying to correct the misinformation that he claims is being spread about Sanatana Dharma. Wonderful to see you, sir. Always a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you for speaking to me on the Hard Facts and on News 18. I want to begin by asking you a very straightforward question, and it's a question that arises from the article that Rahul Gandhi has written in the Indian Express, actually in the Sunday Express, just about 2 days ago. He says that the Sangh has reduced Hindu Dharma to a narrow parochial set of cultural norms. Basically, he's suggesting that the Hindu philosophy, its cultural sort of interpretation to be extremely Indic, etc., is perhaps doing an injustice to it. It's misleading. How do you respond to that, sir?
See, then he must be knowing much more than Swami Vivekananda or Aurobindo, or he doesn't know them at all. And he must be knowing much more than Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru himself, or he doesn't know Nehru at all. Swami Vivekananda defined India as a Hindu nation. And he also explained our nationalism as Hindu nationalism. And Aurobindo said it is Hindu nationalism and Sanatana Dharma. And if Sanatana Dharma survives, Hindu nation will survive. If Sanatana Dharma doesn't survive, Hindu nation will not survive. You see, there is a confluence of the territory, the people, and their culture and value systems. This constitutes what we call as the nationalism. And Jawaharlal Nehru, in Glimpses of World History in 1935, he said that it is very difficult to draw a line between Bharat and its nationalism, because Bharat is the only country of Hindus. You cannot have people without territory, and you cannot have territory without people. The connection between the territory and the people is what is making a nation. Nehru recognized it and said that it is very difficult to draw a line between Bharat and its nationalism. And he went one step further. He said he accepts Swami Vivekananda's concept of Hindu nationalism, which he very powerfully articulated. And he said there is nothing which is against anybody in that concept. So Rahul hasn't read any of these things. So he is now propounding a new theory on the map of India, on the history of India, on the culture of India, about which great people like Swami Vivekananda, Aurobindo, and even his own great grandfather have written. How to answer a man who is so unaware of things?
I agree with you because I've just written a book myself where I have actually pulled out some of these quotes of Jawaharlal Nehru ji and of course of Swami Vivekananda, etc., where I have made allusions to it. So what you're saying is absolutely a fact. But Rahul Gandhi is not really speaking in isolation, is he, Mr. Gurumurthy? The India bloc has targeted Sanatana Dharma, saying that it's a Vedic revealed dogma reeking of an oppressive caste-centered Brahminism. Now, you've written an article rebuking the people who have made this comparison. Of course, you have not in any way justified the caste system, but you've called it an aberration. Can you illuminate us a little bit more on these thoughts that have occurred to you?
See, the whole thing started with a statement by a junior minister in Tamil Nadu, linking Sanatana Dharma to the caste divisions in this society. But it is not that he knows very much. And like Rahul Gandhi, he can also talk things without understanding what he talks and whether what he talks has any relevance to anything that has already been thought of by others. See, the issue in Tamil Nadu has been that Sanatana Dharma is a Vedic concept and it is linked to Varnashrama, and this has come from the north. This has been the theory that the DMK had expounded. But the ideological mentor of DMK, E.V. Ramsam Naikar, Periyar, or the elder person as he is reverentially referred to by the DMK, he was the one who knew that there is no Tamil literature, Tamil culture, Tamil society, and Tamil spiritualism without Sanatana Dharma. And he abused the entire Tamil history, Tamil heritage, Tamil literature, and said that this is a pack of Sanatana Dharma ideas, and if you remove all this, there is nothing left in Tamil literature. For example, he said Tirukkural, which is the only literature the DMK celebrates. He said Tirukkural is a human excreta kept on a golden plate, because Tirukkural celebrates the learning and teaching of Vedas. It celebrates the Brahmin who teaches Vedas. So Periyar knew if you accepted Tirukkural, you have to accept these things. So the DMK accepted Tirukkural, but not these things. So if you look at the entire DMK discourse, it is only E.V. Ramsam Naikar who was honest and said that there is no Tamil Nadu or Tamil culture or Tamil people without Sanatana Dharma. But the DMK is illiterate, so they want to suppress all this and go about saying that Sanatana Dharma has come from outside Dravidian territory. But I will tell you, all the three Sanatana Dharma Acharyas, Adi Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, all of them came from the Dravidian land, and two of them, Shankaracharya and Ramanujacharya, came from Tamil Nadu. And Shankaracharya's exposition of Advaita was not limited even to human beings. It is not even limited to this world. It extends to the entire universe. He said the entire universe is one. There is nothing called humans. There is nothing called animals. There is nothing called nature. There is nothing called animate or inanimate. Everything is one. So he went far, far beyond that. That is not nationalism. That is a thought which this nation produced for other nations. So Shankaracharya traveled far, far beyond human divisions. He cannot be associated with caste. Take Ramanuja. Ramanuja was given a diksha by his guru, saying that you should not teach it to anyone who is not qualified. Ramanuja went on the top of a temple and gave the mantra diksha to all the castes. And everyone knew Ramanuja traveled beyond caste. He was without caste. And the most important thing is Karunanidhi, who is the grandfather of the junior minister who spoke derogatory about Sanatana Dharma, actually wrote the life history of Ramanuja and said here he is a man who didn't recognize any caste. And he took a film and he telecast it in his own television channel. So, two great acharyas who were born in Tamil Nadu, who expounded Sanatana Dharma, who expounded the concept of Varna Dharma, were known to be beyond caste. So, where does caste come into Sanatana Dharma or even Varna Dharma? Mahatma Gandhi said very clearly that the present caste system has nothing to do with Varna Dharma. Do they reject? They can reject Shankaracharya, they can reject Ramanuja. Can they reject Mahatma Gandhi? These are people who have read nothing, and I don't want to call them illiterates. They have nothing to do with what they don't know what they have said.
So let me ask you, because obviously over the years there has been reform within the Hindu tradition of caste. There have been reformists, and obviously that can only happen in a tradition that breathes and basically interrogates its own self. So clearly it is, in that sense, not a revealed dogma where everyone has to follow some particular book. So I just want to ask you, because the Dravidar parties, as you have mentioned in particular, want to eradicate it, saying that, look, it is riddled with casteism that has oppressed people. Then you have people like the JDU and the RJD leaders. They want changes in the texts of the Sanatana Dharmic tradition. So is it fundamentally, inherently discriminatory? Can we even use the word fundamentalist or fundamentals in describing its basis, ethos?
I will first deal with the DMK.
Right.
The DMK is in a huge problem because DMK is wedded to Tamil literature, ancient Tamil scholars, and they can't, if they give it up, and their ideological base is gone. But E.V. Ramsam Naikar, who expounded the Dravidian ideology, which is guiding them on the other side, because DMK is riding two horses, Tamil and Dravidian. And the Dravidian ideologue or the ideological mentor said the entire Tamil is a bunch of Sanatana Dharma nonsense. And I will take, as I told you about Thirukural, I will tell you about Tolkappiyam, which is the only textbook of Tamil grammar. Minus that, there is no Tamil grammar at all. And there is no explanation for the Tamil way of life, ancient Tamil way of life, other than Tolkappiyam. Tolkappiyam explains two things. One, that Tolkappiyam was presented in the Sabha of the Pandya king. After it was got approved from one Adamgod to Assam, a 4 Vedic scholar from the village of Adamgodu, the author of Tolkappiyam goes to him and says, is this correct? He says this is correct according to the Panini's grammar principles. So, the entire Tamil grammar is dependent on the four Vedic, the Chaturvedi scholar approving it. This is the first point. The second point is the Tolkappiyam says the Tamil society was divided into four varnas. It says it is Arasar, Andanar, Vaishyar, and Velalar, which is the same as the king, the Brahman, the Vaishya, and the Sudra. And it also says this is what they can wear, this is what they should not wear, this is their rights and privileges. And this is Varna Dharma. This is Tamil, ancient Tamil literature. So E.V. Ramswamy Naikar said this should be burnt. Then I will come to Silappatikaram. This is a book, this is a Jain written by a Jain monk. And the most favorite book of Karunanidhi. In that, Kannagi, whose husband was given a capital punishment wrongly by the Pandya king, she comes and challenges the king and proves that her husband was wrongly killed. And the story is that she pinched one of her breasts and stoked fire out of it and burnt the entire Madurai city. But she made a point. She gave a warning to the fire which she generated. Don't burn the Brahmins, women, children, and cow. This is Sanatana Dharma. So E.V. Ramswamy Naikar said, what is this nonsense? So if you look at the Tamil past, heritage, literature, there is nothing other than Sanatana Dharma in this. So the DMK is in a very serious embarrassment. They cannot look to the past because E.V. Ramswamy Naikar said, if you look to the past, it is Sanatana Dharma. So the entire country had only one way of life. And this has been changing from time to time. Because in the Hindu philosophy, there are two distinct set of literature. One is Shruti and another is Smriti. Smriti changes from time to time. That is why Bal Gangadhar Tilak said how the Varna arises. He said, Chatur Varna Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vipakashaga. This is what Krishna had said, that this Chatur Varna system comes out of quality and karma by work. Tilak said there is no janma in it. So it cannot be by birth. Tilak's interpretation was very largely accepted by many. Mahatma Gandhi said no. Varna Dharma has no meaning unless it is by birth. You had freedom for both. Gandhi had also the freedom to say that, and Tilak had also the freedom to say that. No one can say Tilak is wrong or right, or Gandhi is wrong or right. What do these people know about these high minds which have gone into what is Sanatana Dharma and have taken two totally contrary different views?
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Gurumurthy, for putting your view forward in a extremely explanatory and well-researched way, because that's really the show's focus. It's called the hard facts. I interrogate the hard facts, I put out the hard facts, and let's hope we can start changing the narrative that is being built. Thank you very much, Mr. Gurumurthy.
There is nothing called easy facts. Facts are hard.
Absolutely. They're always hard, especially when they confront the propagandists. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.